People sometimes misunderstand him, thinking cosmic Carlos is lost in a mystical frequency they can't quite grasp. But in the realm of the six-string guitar, few names command the universal respect earned by Carlos Santana, the Mexican-American virtuoso who fused Latin rhythms with rock and roll and who made his guitars sing with both fire and soul, has spent more than 5 decades creating some of the most recognizable tones in music history. Early in his career, Santana played a Fender Stratocaster, but before long he gravitated to the handcrafted instruments of Paul Reed Smith. This gentleman had a dream, Carlos once said of Smith, and his dream became tangible. That sense of purpose has always guided Santana's music. Welcome to Guitar Legends Revealed, where today we explore the players who shaped Carlos Santana's musical universe. The man behind classics like Black Magic Woman and Smooth has never hidden the sources of his inspiration. His spiritual approach to sound and his reverence for the guitar make him one of the most thoughtful voices in music when it comes to honoring the masters. The guitar is a voice, and every great guitarist has something different to say. Santana told Guitar Player magazine in 2018, these 5 players didn't just play notes, they channeled divine energy through their instruments. For a musician who has spent a lifetime channeling that same energy, these choices carry serious weight, from blues icons who shaped his early style to jazz innovators who expanded his horizons. Santana's list shows how diverse influences forged his unique sound. These are not merely technical geniuses. They are spiritual guides who taught Carlos that the guitar can be far more than entertainment. It can be a pathway to something greater. So, light some copal incense, tune your guitar to the frequency of the universe, and join us as we discover the 5 guitarists who formed the musical consciousness of Carlos Santana. 5. Wes Montgomery. Carlos places Wes Montgomery at number 5. The jazz giant whose revolutionary playing opened new dimensions of possibility for a young Santana. Carlos first encountered Montgomery's music in the mid-1960s while he was developing his own sound in San Francisco. Guitarist Neil Schon, who played with Santana early on, recalls that Carlos spent hours studying Montgomery's albums, The Incredible Jazz Guitar and Smokin' at the Half Note. Listen to how he makes every note count, Carlos would say. There's no waste, just pure musical conversation. Montgomery's trademark thumb-picking and rich octave melodies fascinated Santana. Wes showed me that the guitar could be an orchestra, Carlos told Downbeat in 2015. He could play melody, harmony, and rhythm all at the same time and make it sound completely natural. Those lessons surfaced as Santana incorporated jazz textures into his Latin rock fusion. When I hold a note and let it sing, I'm channeling what Wes taught me about making each note sacred, Carlos explained during sessions for Abraxas. To Santana, Montgomery represents the perfect union of technical brilliance and spiritual depth, a guitarist who proved that mastery only matters when it serves the heart. 4. Gabor Szabo. In 4th place is Gabor Szabo, the Hungarian jazz adventurer whose willingness to blend Eastern scales with Western instruments gave Carlos a blueprint for cross-cultural exploration. Santana discovered Szabo's album Dreams in the late 1960s when producer Clive Davis played it for him during a conversation about musical direction. Manager Michael Shreve remembers Carlos calling at 2 a.m. after hearing it. This guy is doing what I've been searching for, making the guitar speak different languages. Szabo's use of Hungarian folk melodies and Indian classical modes struck a deep chord. Gabor showed me that the guitar can be a bridge between cultures, Carlos told Rolling Stone in 2017. He proved you don't have to choose between heritage and modern music. You can honor both. When the two met in Los Angeles in 1969, Szabo told him, "Your guitar already cries in Spanish. Now teach it to laugh in other languages." Santana never forgot the advice. His hypnotic Eastern-tinged phrases in pieces like Europa and Samba Pati carry Szabo's influence to this day. 3. B.B. King. At number 3 stands the king of the blues, B.B. King, whose emotional honesty gave Santana the foundation for his own soulful style. Carlos first witnessed King at San Francisco's Fillmore West in 1967, an experience he describes as life-changing. The moment B.B. played his first note, I understood that the guitar wasn't just an instrument. It was a voice for everything words can't say, he told blues historian Robert Palmer. King's philosophy that one note can speak louder than 1,000 became central to Santana's playing. Keyboardist Greg Rowley recalls Carlos stopping sessions to ask, "Are you playing notes, or are you saying something?" In 1995, B.B. told Santana backstage, "You took what I do and made it speak Spanish." "That's beautiful, brother." Santana treasures that memory. B.B. showed me that the space between the notes is where the soul lives, he told a guitar clinic in 2019. His singing bends and sustained cries are direct descendants of King's beloved Lucille. 2. John McLaughlin. Runner-up is John McLaughlin, the British fusion pioneer whose blazing technique and spiritual vision pushed Santana toward new levels of virtuosity and awareness. Their friendship began in the early 1970s when both explored the meeting point of rock, jazz, and Eastern philosophy. McLaughlin's work with Miles Davis and the Mahavishnu Orchestra captivated Santana. John showed me that speed and soul aren't opposites, Carlos told Guitar Player in 2016. When he plays those impossibly fast runs, he isn't showing off, he's channeling divine energy at light speed. The two met at a spiritual retreat and quickly bonded, later collaborating on the 1973 album Love, Devotion, Surrender, inspired by Guru Sri Chinmoy. Making that record taught me that two guitars could create something greater than either player alone, Santana recalled. McLaughlin reminded him that technical brilliance serves its highest purpose when it becomes a vehicle for love and transcendence. 1. Jimi Hendrix. At the very top of Santana's list is Jimi Hendrix, the cosmic innovator who forever changed the possibilities of the electric guitar. Carlos first saw Hendrix at the Monterey Pop Festival in 1967, when both were virtually unknown. Watching Jimi set his guitar on fire that night, I realized I was witnessing the future of rock and roll, Carlos told Rolling Stone in a 2017 cover story. He didn't just play the guitar, he became one with it and through it, one with the universe. Hendrix's fearless use of feedback, distortion, and amplifier effects inspired Santana to experiment for months afterward. Jimi showed me that the amp is part of the instrument. The whole rig has to sing together, Carlos explained. But the impact went beyond sound. Hendrix proved that when music is guided by spirit, there are no rules. Every time I plug in my guitar, I'm honoring what Jimi started, Santana said during a 2019 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame speech. Hendrix's brief friendship and parting words, "Keep pushing the boundaries, brother," became a guiding principle for Santana's career.
Please don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon.